So Nika Muhl and Caitlin Clark were two of the bigger names in the WNBA rookie class. Obviously, Nika Muhl barely saw the floor for the Seattle Storm. I think it took till the last game of the season for her to score her first point. And then when she was playing quite well in the Euro Super Cup game, she goes and tears her ACL. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the game had to be abandoned. Then she goes and tears her ACL the next one, which is a bit of a disaster of a situation all around. But you've got like you've got now these two players that are known. You got the player on the left, the player on the right. The player on the right is with Nike, and the player on the left has just signed with Under Armour. And this is how like brands should be pushing their players. And like what Under Armour have done, what New Balance have done with Cam Brink, and it's going to be really interesting to see what ends up happening with Nike because yeah, obviously at Nike's headquarters, you can have you can have Caitlin Clark being pushed to places, but it's like even just announcements. You can see Under Armour announce a deal with Nika Muhl, and it's an impressive one. It is an impressive one. Like I do like this. Let's take a listen.
My name is Nika Muhl.
And I play for the Seattle Storm.
I never land straight all night.
Ever being a woman in basketball, I have been doubted. I love being an underdog. Every victory, every milestone is a little sweeter. It's all about proving yourself right, not others wrong.
So yeah, obviously they've done a very good job here. They've done a really, really good job here with promoting their players. Like they sign a player and it's a big deal. They sign a player and it's a big, big deal when they do that. And that's the same with all these other shoe brands. And man, with Nike, it is just a pity in the end with Nike. It is what Nike have done. And I think as much as anything, a bit of the problem could be is that again, Caitlin Clark with Nike is just another athlete. She's just another athlete. Like, there's no way in hell that like Angel Reese is Reebok's biggest basketball player right now. There's a reason why they're pushing her. There's a reason why New Balance are going to be really pushing Cam Brink because after Kawhi Leonard, she's the next biggest basketball player they have. But for Nike, even though in terms of jersey sales, ironically, Caitlin Clark is leading all Nike athletes in jersey sales. She is ninth on their pecking order. Like, she's ninth. You got Breanna, you got Angel Wilson, you got her. She's third on the pecking order for WNBA. And heck, like, Nike stopped posting about Caitlin Clark after she left college. And yeah, Caitlin Clark was in the important Super Bowl commercial, which they were talking about how important that was. And she was in the Super Bowl commercial, which is something, I guess, that she was in it. But like, for her, like, as far as the preference is concerned, it clearly is. And people are wondering, it's like, why they're pushing Angel Wilson right now. It's like, obviously, her shoe's going to sell. Her shoe is going to sell. Like, they need to sell her shoe. They need to push that. It's a new shoe being released. Just like they'd be pushing Ja at the release of the Jazz first shoe. Booker at the release of Booker's first shoe. Like, that's what these companies do. And yeah, it's just such a... I don't know. I'm not a fan of just everything that's gone on with the shoe company and with Nike. And obviously, look, for people who will be responding with, oh, but like at the end of the day, the only things that matter is that Caitlin's happy. And it's like, man, I'm not gonna lie. I think I don't think any of these big deals are. She doesn't seem to be somebody that cares that much about being ultra generationally rich. So I don't know. I don't think that would really bother her too much. And the fact she doesn't seem to care really about much, to be honest. So other than basketball or family and, you know, being a good person and charity, she doesn't seem to care much about the other stuff. But it still can be frustrating. Like, it's still frustrating just looking at, because you've got You've got all the other companies. You've got JC Sheldon getting her own shoe. They're basically put the company on her back, the shoe company she's with. And it would have been really cool to have seen Caitlin Clark do something almost like what she did at Iowa. Instead of, joining the Yukon of shoe brands, she goes to somebody else and makes them boom, bit like Steph Curry and Under Armour. She would have had that potential to do that. But yeah, it's still always disappointing to see. But it's also, while it's disappointing to see how poorly Nike are handling the situation, it's also good to see how well other companies are handling the situation with women's sports. Seeing Aaliyah Boston being the face of Adidas basketball, Nika Muhl getting a big push from Under Armour. You've got, as well as that, you've got players like, obviously, Angel Reese being the face of Reebok basketball. And it would be they're all good things. They're all real good things for women's basketball. Heck, Stewie's Puma shoe is cool as well. Like, outside of LaMelo, she's probably Puma's second biggest athlete. So, yeah, it's a good time. It is a good time for women's sports. Like, these athletes are finally, while, yeah, their salaries, the big players, and I know Nika Muhl is not a big player, but what Nika Muhl is somebody who will draw in some eyes because she had that iconic game against Iowa that everyone was watching. She was good in that game. She did a good job on Caitlin Clark. She was UConn starting point guard for a while, was very, very well liked at UConn. And now we're in a situation where it's all kind of coming together for women's basketball. And it's great to see the stuff with JC Sheldon. It's great to see Nika Muhl. And it's great to see all the other players in the WNBA, a lot of the players getting really good brand deals. It's just unfortunate, that Caitlin Clark signed that long-term deal with Nike. And whatever about the deal with Nike, if that deal was for 3 years or even 4 years for the same amount of money per year instead of 8 years, Caitlin Clark would be in a position right now where she's got leverage. She signed one of the worst shoe deals of all time. She has no leverage, so now Nike can do whatever the hell they want. They can do whatever the hell they want, as much as canceling her shoe, letting it leak that her shoe was cancelled, or that her shoe was coming out, the PE, and then canceling the PE, leaking that it was cancelled. I don't know what's going on there. It's just been an absolute all-around disaster. It really has, this shoe deal. But again, congrats to Nika Muhl, whose agent got her signed with a company despite averaging 0.0 points per game. Got her signed with a company that has put more effort into her than Nike have with Caitlin Clark. But anyway, I'll see you guys.